Thank you so much for joining today as day 5 of the Changemaker Inclusion Summer Camp. I can't wait to get into today's agenda. So first, what today we're going to be doing is I'm going to be talking about the inclusion webinar, as well as the presentations at the end of this program, and lastly, the awards that we are presenting. This will hopefully clear up any confusion in regards to presentations and awards that I received through email. So how this is going to work is that the last 2 days of the program, groups are going to be presenting their projects. You're going to pitch your projects, what you've done, how are you planning to continue your project, and stuff like that, which your mentors will tell you what to include. I'm also going to go over the webinar rubric in just a second. But these pitches will be the chances to receive the Changemaker Team Awards according to our rubric. So everyone knows what to aim for and what to do. So these awards, once again, are international awards as well as resume and college app awards / honors sections. So the logistics for the day are that each group will share their screens and present for about 10 to 12 minutes split amongst your team. This is where you will once again talk about all your work, your project, your objective, the impact, how you plan to continue, and why your project is important. Again, this is a group project, so everyone who is able to attend that day must contribute during presentations. All right, so now to go over our rubric. So the rubric for review of the chosen projects for our inclusion webinar is that first, the projects with the most progress or work done to make changes in public accommodation and policy for neurodivergent individuals is our first criteria, aka you must show that given the 2 weeks at the time that you had, you must have shown a decent amount of progress, not necessarily in actual implementation, but rather your thought process and how you designed it. The next is that the projects with the most development and strongest business model from an impact standpoint will be selected. Next is that projects with the most potential, given the progress displayed in these 2 weeks. Again, you don't have to do a lot of work in these 2 weeks, but rather we have to see that that your project does have a lot of potential down the line, because these are not 2-week long projects. They're quite more intense than that. The next is that you have an engaging presentation, fonts and slides for neurodiverse populations to view. So don't use too many bright colors and just be accommodating in the accessibility of your presentation. Next is that projects that demonstrate the longevity of the project. Again, how will this be impactful in 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Will your project still have value on neurodiverse individuals' lives? And are you fully affecting the cause regardless of how long from now? Next is that the projects that demonstrate the most understanding and attention to detail when providing these services to neurodiverse populations. I'm going to use the project that is creating guides as an example. For example, you have to consider adding dyslexic font in there. You also have to consider people who use screen readers to make sure if you need like an audio version. So again, that attention to detail is what we look for. Next is that projects that crowdsource and utilize knowledge from guest speakers, their personal experiences, family experiences, or other valuable sources to choose accommodations that need to be made. Again, this has been reiterated a lot throughout this program, but we want to avoid speaking on behalf of neurodiverse individuals because that further aggravates the problem. Again, we want presentations that go into the details and nuances of their design process. We want to see as much attention to detail and fully fleshed out projects with little to no missed aspects. Regardless of whether you cover those aspects in these 2 weeks is not what we're looking for, but if you cover those aspects or if you're considering to do them down the line is more important. Lastly, projects that have the potential to flourish in a certain, if not multiple environments. For example, your project should be applicable to a neurodiverse person in the workplace, schools, public areas, anything along those lines. So it has to be inclusive. All right, so now I'm going to get into the awards section. I've received literally like 15 to 20 emails in regards to the award section. So I'm going to hopefully try and clear up all the confusion here. We are handing out a total of 3 team awards ranked first, second, and third. And then we are also going to choose first, second, and third place for each individual award. If we don't feel that we have 3 competent candidates, we might just do first and second place. We're not necessarily going to fill up all 3 spots if there is no potential for the third spot. All right, so I'm going to get into each award. The first award is the Above and Beyond Award of Activism Excellence, aka presented previously as the most dedicated advocate. So this is going to be who is staying the most consistent in their work ethic, who is willing to go above and beyond their project to impact the cause of neurodiversity. So given that your project has like a certain guideline, and we already gave you the project, we want to see people who are thinking beyond above the box and like coming up with new ideas to add on to their given projects. Again, we are handing out first, second, and third for this award, and these are individual awards. The second individual award we're handing is the Diamond Leader Award, previously presented as the Community Leader. Again, this is who is taking charge of the group, who is contributing the most, who is directing the group and inviting silent participants to share, and who is essentially the moderator or the leader. This doesn't mean being bossy or trying to speak over other people, being competitive for an award. This is just inviting everyone to speak and making it an open place for everyone in your group. So the 3 team awards is the Changemaker teams, which are again first, second, and third. And this is in inclusion to the inclusion webinar rubric just presented. So we also have one secret award, which I'm not going to publish the requirements for, solely because this award is going to go to someone who isn't doing it just for the sake of receiving an award, but someone who truly cares about the cause. Additional information like how many people we are choosing for this or the guidelines will not be released until we present it at the awards ceremony on the last day of the program. I'm going to be reaching out to each mentor separately to give me a rundown on participants' action in the group through several yes or no and named questions. So that's essentially how we're going to be looking at this, is based on your mentor. So my moderation going back and forth between the breakout rooms will not be the way we're selecting it. Quickly, as a side note, the days that we have guest speakers, we are not holding any consideration for the award since there is no collaboration happening. But yeah, that is basically everything I wanted to cover. This was just really quick. But now we're gonna get into the actual work time of today. So